I prefer to us naturally, like, we can be having a conversation or whatever, and I can just forget what we was talking about, and I'll be like, man, what's this podcast called?
Now let's begin the story.
That time, motherfuckers. Dub down, motherfuckers.
H-Town's finest 16 Shots Podcast.
Stop lighting. What you doing?
You are now listening to Podcasting Excellence. Young James Boogie, AR Dub, we are 16 Shots Podcast. What's going on with you, man?
Man, it's slow boogie, man. I'm actualizing the truths that I want to believe to be my forward-thinking blessings.
I saw you was trolling some people. I guess it was yesterday. You managed to troll Dallas Cowboy fans and anti-vaxxers in the same post.
I'm a legend like that, bro.
I think your take was a little bit of a reach, but I saw what you did there.
Yeah. The reach is like whether Cowboys fans are justified or not in their belief, like the proof in the pudding makes their such strong belief look crazy. Like, yeah, you can believe whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ride with you, but you can't believe to the point where you just start saying foolishness, you know what I'm saying? You can't go that far. Like, you can believe, I think that's the failure of conspiracy theories, man, because like, you can believe something, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But if you start reaching into the point where you believe like everything, or it seems like you're not you, but it's like a person is going like, man, hold on, that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? If more of those conversations are going on, then okay, that makes sense. Oh man, that's messed up. But it's like, man, the earth's really flat. You know what I'm saying? The sun ain't real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just goes too far, bro.
Wait, somebody said the sun isn't real?
Yeah. I've heard all kinds of the earth flat, the sun ain't real, or the moon.
Hold on, what time out? There's a difference between conspiracy theorists and like conspiracies and just lunacy.
I think it's both of them.
But I do think that some conspiracy theories probably are real and have some tangible evidence behind them.
I believe it too. But I believe that, I think that all people go too far sometimes. And like, how do you determine where I went too far and the truth is?
So give me an example of a conspiracy, not an outlandish conspiracy. Give me an example of a conspiracy that you feel like is total bullshit.
We never went to the moon.
So what do you say to those scientists who say that we really have not left Earth's atmosphere?
I say hidden colors, hidden figures. That's what I say.
Oh,
that's
you mean the movie about black mathematicians that are females is enough evidence to say the conspiracy that we didn't go to the moon is a real thing?
Well, yeah, bro, because every time, like a lot of times we curse the situation, but then when we found out that we were actually involved in the situation, then all of a sudden, oh man, yeah, man, I told you we was kings and queens. Like,
but black people weren't the leading people who said we didn't go to the moon, though.
No, but I'm saying that black people, there are conspiracy theorists that are black that believe that.
That ain't got nothing to do with it, though. I'm
just saying, that's just one part. Same with any other race. They do the same thing. They be like, oh, man.
Yeah, but your whole evidence of saying that's the sole reason why it's not true is bullshit.
I don't want to argue with you today. We have a special guest tonight. Today, I thought it was a great idea to bring him on today because it's Martin Luther King Day. And, we always celebrate the loud claps. We only celebrate one side of the spirituality of black people. So bringing on Dub the Mage, I just want to ask you some questions or let you present some answers and some of your own theories about how is it the mystic arts?
First off, let me make sure y'all see me.
Oh yeah, you
Everything's
good.
good.
You good?
Man, what's good? So last time we talked to you, we didn't have video though, right?
Yeah, nuh-uh.
Yeah, no video.
Okay, okay. I thought I was tripping because I'm like, hold on, man. We didn't interview Dub the Maze before, but okay. I thought I'd be drunk, bro. Don't pay me no attention.
I got drinks too much.
We all get a little drunk inside. You know, got a beer right now.
Yeah, I think we all do.
But what were y'all saying?
Wait, didn't we talk to your wife too?
Yes.
Y'all
Oh
did.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do this dude's diminishing memory every episode. Like every time he's like, man,
I'm getting old, man.
Man. Hey, come on, man. That's why you have more grades than me, man.
Sure. No, we've covered why I have more grades than you. We've already had it. Like it's been established why I have more gray hair than you.
No, it has not.
So she lying? So she's telling lies. Thank you.
Back to the interview because you always get a sidetrack, bro. How do is that a good description for the mystic arts or the earthly arts?
I mean, there's a lot of different names. You can call it magic. You could call it witchcraft. You can call it mystic arts. There's a bunch of different. It goes through a bunch of different cultures and meanings, and over time, people put their own spin on everything. So whatever works for you, I can't control what you want to call it.
I don't want to be offensive. Like I don't want to say, everybody has a name for somebody else or something that ain't really what they would like. You know what I'm saying? Like a faggot don't want to be a faggot. I'm a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? But faggots didn't make up faggots. You know what I'm saying? Then somebody else called you damn faggot. And like, don't call me that.
You didn't drop the F-bomb like 5 times, bro. You can't do that in 2022. You're going to get us canceled before we blow up.
I'm saying that that's a negative name that people use for them that they don't want to be called. And I don't want to do that to the mystic arts or witchcraft or however you want to call it. But how does that relate to African American or Black people or people of color's relation in America, as far as like what was going on in that world during that time, if you know?
You talking about regarding to Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Well, I don't know the relationship pertaining to magic wise, but I know Martin Luther King did want to bring people together, and he wanted to break the barriers that were out there. So I guess a person that's involved in magic and mystic arts, whatever you want to call it, they're about breaking barriers and getting back to the truth of the world, So Martin Luther King would relate to the subject in a sense of breaking down how everybody thinks the world should be. I guess Martin Luther King would be about getting back to knowledge and educating yourself, bringing back the notion that we're all different colors, but we're connected as humans, and the more time we spend going against each other, it hinders us as a race, as a whole. Like we're basically not seeing the big picture. We're all stuck in our, subjective mindsets instead of coming together to change the world as a whole. Because, of course, we all have different colors, but on the inside, we have the same fucking organs. We all bleed red blood, So Martin Luther King came out and he was educated. He spoke in he spoke in a proper way. He's saying, hey, we need to come together and, get on the same page with white people, even though they're basically victimizing us left and right.
Yeah.
Best thing to do is to come together. And, what did he say? Some shit about has a dream that a little white girl can hold a little black girl's hand and all of that. You know, unity,
Yeah.
bringing all of us back together.
Dr.
Yeah.
Martin. King.
That's it.
That was a. I feel that maybe take me back around. It was so good. So 2022, man. We're going into another year, pandemic second year. I remember the best thing about the pandemic, if there was a best thing, but one of the I'll say unique things is that first 2 weeks when everybody was like inside, and then if you went outside, like the grass is greener, the skies were bluer, more birds, with more animals, the air was cleaner. You know what I mean? It just felt like, what if it was like this all the time? If we did this every like 2 years, how much better the world would be, like physically. I mean, so how does that relate to the magic world? Because I know the magic world feeds off the earth a lot and its prosperity. Do you feel your powers increase when the earth is cleaner?
Well, you said when the earth is cleaner?
Yeah.
Well, when the earth is cleaner, let me see. How do I approach that? The earth, well, I think the powers, if you want to call them that, they're always good no matter what the state of the earth is, because when you're talking magic or anything mythical or mystical, it's about your idea on things, you know? It's about your perception of the world, how much faith you have, you know, what's inside you. And I think anybody who's magical or consider themselves magical, I think we're all magical, but, you know, we're getting there. But anybody who deals with magic, I think the first thing that came to their mind was, with this pandemic going on and everybody in a state of fear, you know, it's a lot of negative energy going around. Magical people realized that they needed to, They realized that they needed to be steady, you know, have a steady mindset, you know. Just because everything in the external world is going to the wind doesn't mean that they have to let that be, internalize that energy, you know. The world around you is changing and becoming more chaotic. So you notice that you gotta stay strong within yourself, take care of your star player so that you don't internalize that chaos that's going on around you when everybody in the world is, you know, at odds with everything. But it is interesting what you're saying. Being inside makes everybody appreciate all the times when we're able to have our freedom and go out and do everything that we want. It makes us appreciate being able to hang out with our families, hang out with our friends, if that's your thing. I think the pandemic is really just not just, but one of the biggest things about the pandemic is it's a wake up call. You know, it's a call for everybody to appreciate what we've had. You know, because when it first started, first 2 weeks, like you said, everything's being shut down. You can't go and do the shit that you usually do. Yeah. You can't party like you want. You can't go to certain fucking restaurants. You got to park and they bring the shit out to you. Certain jobs are threatening to shut down. Just a bunch of different things that changes your perspective, shows you that perhaps you've been taking shit for granted. You know? And I mean, I think there's good and bad in everything. I mean, this shit as a whole, it sucked. But I think on the other side, it's really showed people like, hey, you know, we might have had hard lives, things that we deal with that suck, but you know, we've had it good, you know, because shit right now is fucking trash. Well, maybe not right now, at least when it first started, but I think everybody's being hit with a change of perspective. And the magical thing about the pandemic is it's something that hit the whole world. So it's not just this is America's perspective or this is Europe's perspective or Africa's perspective. The whole world is dealing with this same thing. So it's like something that's, I think, made us all a little closer because the shit sucks worldwide. It's not localized, you know?
Yeah. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. And they were saying that the government is forcing it on us. And I'm like, it's not just us, man. You're looking at it as like the government of America is telling Americans to take the vaccine. Now, the world is telling the world take the vaccine. We just have the people that's hearing the message. Like, there's no countries that's not saying let's vaccinate to help out. There's no country that's just, like, they're saying like, dang, the only way we can stop this is by vaccinating. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have all the answers, I don't think, but they do understand how viruses work, the history of viruses, what, you know, like, man, it's crazy. People get mad at it. Anyway, Aaron over there, like, what's the confused over there for, man?
I'm not doing this vaccination thing today. I don't think your statement was entirely false, but it wasn't entirely true at all. But go ahead.
I mean,
like, your statement was not entirely true at all. Every country is not pushing the vaccination. Some countries are pushing alternative methods of fighting the COVID virus. They are using things like immunity, how to build your immune system up. They do have drugs that can fight it before catching it. And every country is not pro-vaccination.
Well, I think you misunderstood what I was saying.
I didn't misunderstand anything you said. I understood what you said 100%.
What I'm saying is that
I don't know. No, I heard what you said.
Not necessarily agreeing with you. Not necessarily they're all saying pro-vax, but they're all saying we have to do something about this thing.
Yeah, but vaccination isn't like what you said was, you made it seem like that there are silly Americans who are anti-vaxxers when the entire world is pro-vax, and that's what they're doing about COVID, which is not true.
No, what I'm saying is that the American people aren't necessarily looking at the bigger picture, because because we never do. Why would we do all of a sudden now?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can make that blanket statement about Americans never looking at the bigger picture. I think that's a false statement.
Historically, Americans have worried about America. We elected Donald Trump, bro. Like,
so Joe Biden's better? I'm asking.
Yes, 100%.
Give me three things he's done better.
He hasn't embarrassed America.
What you mean? This nigga that fell asleep at world summits. How the fuck is he not embarrassed America? The nigga sleep. At least Donald Trump could stay awake. This nigga was sleep, my nigga.
Sleep. You don't think that there's other dignitaries that thought every dignitary.
What else he did?
Bro, he hasn't he hasn't been Trump, bro. Like, the only thing
you telling me he hasn't been Trump is not giving me three things that he's done positive that Trump didn't do or couldn't do. And I'm not a pro-Trump guy at all. I'm really not. I just would like to know how much better he is. Since he's so much better, why is he so much better?
He's so much better because he understands what he's doing. He has an understanding of what has to be done. He's not just going off how he feels. So he's not pissing off 18 countries. Just because I don't understand the relationship that we have. Like, his whole campaign was on some, I'm going to eliminate all these treaties that they're bad deals for America. But he has no idea what the Americans gave up in them treaties, man. There's so much bureaucracy that went on in between. You have to be a bureaucrat to know what they're talking about. You have to be in that. You can't just be on the outside looking in. You're looking at the overall, like the money numbers that you can see, but you ain't saying like, hey man, we got troops over here, so we gonna move them troops out on the backside so that this people over here can stop warring, or they got or we got like.
So you do realize that Donald Trump had a better plan of moving the troops out of the Middle East than what Joe Biden did, and how he fumbled that. You do realize that, right?
Okay, but why are troops even there?
Well, that's 20 plus years of bullshit ass politics.
Stop. No, because
what
Obama,
you mean no? What you mean stop? The troops went over there because of Obama. The troops were there way before Obama.
No, but I'm saying, but Obama was pulling troops out. Trump sent them back in. Obama's whole thing coming in was like, we pulling troops out. Why we fighting this war over here? But did Obama not pull out a bunch of troops?
You do realize that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama just went over there and dropped bombs on niggas. You do know that, right?
Okay.
And you do realize, yes, Barack Obama did start the transition and pulling troops out of Iraq. If it's been a 20 plus year situation in Iraq, it's going to be more than just a day of pulling troops out. So you 100% are going to have to slowly pull troops out. And you might have to put some troops back in for some bullshit because the region still was unstable. Am I right? Yes and wrong? Because what happened the moment he just went without a plan and pulled troops out before he pulled civilians out that needs to be pulled out first, they got stuck. And 20 plus years of you trying to stabilize the region went away in a matter of 2 days.
Are you skipping over the part that some of those regions were being stabilized with Obama and Trump sending them back in? Like, you're skipping over like 4 years, and not purposely, I don't think, but you're skipping over 4 years of Trump. Like, nothing good happened for us military wise when Trump was in office. What good thing happened? What allies did we gain with Trump?
You know Benghazi happened when Obama was in office, right?
How come every time I say Trump name, you always jump to somebody else's name?
Well, it's not that I'm jumping to someone else's name. That every president has had some bullshit that went on.
Then why are you not addressing
some of the bullshit that went on in Obama's control? Maybe the man had to go back in there and clean some of that shit up.
So you feel like Trump had the logical plan to come in and clean in some stuff that Obama, who was a bureaucrat, who was in the offices. President before. Like, it's a senator, bro. He understands.
You do realize that the main lawmakers and people who pass these laws and advisors to the presidents, they've been in office. It's some of the same people. They were there for Clinton. They were there for Bush Sr., Bush Jr., Clinton, Barack, Donald Trump.
Lifetime politicians.
Lifetime politicians that are making these decisions, bro. The president himself is not making said decisions all the time. So you have lifetime politicians who agreed on what Barack was saying and did also agreed on what Donald Trump was saying. So just a blanket statement saying that Biden is 100% better than Donald Trump, that's bullshit. And I'm not a Trump person. I'm not saying Donald Trump was great for America. He wasn't.
You made a blanket statement telling me about, you made a blanket statement saying that, like, okay, we can go. You're right, bro, because you just made a blanket statement.
What was the blanket statement?
And saying there were some of the people, some of the staffers on either camp where have been politicians.
How long has Nancy Pelosi been in politics?
Years and years.
How long has Joe Biden himself been in politics?
Years and years.
How long has Kamala been in politics?
Years and years.
Are these not lifetime politicians? Joe Biden has never had another job outside of being a politician. Sheila Jackson Lee has been in politics. She's been a representative since I have been in elementary school. My nigga, I am 40.
And what's the problem with that?
There's a problem with it because some of these laws that we want to get passed and some of this change that we say we need, it's getting sidetracked because of these lifetime politicians. So you can't blame the president who has 4 to 8 years when you got somebody who's been in office who's had 20 years. That's why your local voting is more impactful than the presidential voting.
What I'm saying is
big one. That's a big.
What I'm saying is that most presidents have also been in politics for years and years. So I understand what you're saying. I agree with you that their advisors might be playing. Some of the advisors might be playing both sides of the field. Some of the advisors might be trying to push their own agenda on the down low.
They might.
Yeah, they might. But then what I'm saying is, you can't. Everything ain't so fucking nefarious, bro. Like, for everything you saying, for every point that you're making about who this person is bad for that, there's somebody in that office also who has the opposite feeling of that person. That's why so many people. That's why they politic, bro. Because everybody ain't on the same accord. If that was the case, it'd be a whole bunch of stuff. Like, even people on the same team, like the Republicans don't really like Trump, man. Trump was the independent at first, man, but they had to get down with his game to get that presidency, man, so they get their people in, man.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is there's Republicans who don't agree with Trump, man.
Them same niggas,
and they're in his camp.
Them same niggas in his camp let that shit go down on the 6th.
They ain't let nothing go down, bro. They would probably.
What you mean they ain't let nothing go down? So you mean to tell me that was the actual Secret Service or whoever the fuck it is that watches the Capitol, they got overpowered that day?
Oh, bro, what I'm saying is that you're talking about the bad apples or the Trump supporters. I'm talking about when they devising this plan and there's 8 of us in the room and 2 of us don't agree. The 2 is like, man, nah, bro, don't do that, man. We can do it the other way. We ain't got, man, like, man, look, man, this other situation that we had that we let you hit your way, this is our turn. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what you gonna do? Like, because we're making plans we're making plans for the greater good, supposedly. In politics, I'm not making a plan for next week, bro. I'm making a plan for the next decade, for the next generation. So there's certain things I'm like, man, we don't need this right here because that ain't gonna be useful in 30 years. So we ain't gotta invest in it like that. That's how they thinking about things. You know what I'm saying? So it's some things somebody like, well, I got steel over here. I got steel workers. I got all this. Man, we ain't using steel no more, bro. So we're gonna have to burn them. Let them burn down. Let that whole still thing, and then like, and the person in the room who with the still people he bucking that, but the other 6 like, nah, man, look, bro, you gotta bow down on this, man, and it happens. That's probably what happened with the insurgency, man. There's somebody in the room like, man, don't do that, bro. There's somebody on Donald Trump team who knew it was coming and told him not to do it. I guarantee you. It was somebody in Donald Trump camp that probably told him, don't even talk about, don't do that on the speech to crank him up. The speechwriter. I'm like, man, don't say that, man. Like, I'm gonna say it, man. And somebody else was like, yeah, say it, bro. Like, the way you make it seem is like the whole team is evil. Everybody got nefarious intentions.
The team rolled with him until he lost, and then they switched up on him, bro. And you're right. It's probably not everybody. There probably are some people who are against what he was going on, and they may have jumped. I think a couple people did switch from being Republicans to Democrats, but. It's just it's the whole believe the government, they tell you the truth 100% of the time, and that's bullshit. And so I'm not finna just do some shit because the government say go do it.
You gotta do your own research, make your own decisions.
What do you do? The government.
I'm just saying, at one point in time, the government told you that slavery was the right choice. Hey, go ahead, yeah, hey man, go over and steal those people and make them come work our fields. That's what's up. American government.
Your position is that if somebody makes a bad, heinous act once, they should always be looked at sideways and not.
Well,
trusted.
I think if you actually go look at the track record, and it's not just the American government, and I'm not saying it's a bad place to be. America's probably the best place you want to be right now, if that's how you feel. I'm not one of those guys. I get it. There's good and bad in everything. I'm just saying I'm not gonna do something just simply because the CDC or Dr. Fauci or someone says do it. Like they change their shit every week, every other day. It seems like
that's not the conversation. The conversation not saying just do it because the U.S. government is doing it. The conversation for me is, hey.
Well, the conversation started off. You was telling me that Joe Biden is 100% better than Donald Trump, and I just told you to give me 3 examples of how he's better. And you have yet to give me 3 examples.
No, I did. I said he didn't have us in the embargoes overseas. Biden has us. He didn't have us losing allies. That's 2. And he ain't embarrassed us. That's 3.
We damn near war now. What you mean we ain't losing allies?
Bro, we in more now because we trying to clean up the backside, man.
I don't know if we're really trying to clean up the backside. We already had beef with China way before Donald Trump got in. Same thing with North Korea. Same thing with Russia. So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you can. I mean, you can have an opinion on anything, but and I'm not saying mine is right, yours is wrong, either or. But I'm saying there are some of the factual things or some of the actual things that happened supersede what we think might have happened. Like when I'm saying, like when the entire world is like, "Hey, Obama," you know what I'm saying? When other countries are invested in putting Obama in. I'm not saying you said this, but like there was a large amount of people who believed Obama was a plan from somebody like the other people because he was gonna work with them. Like, oh yeah, he in the Illuminati or he in XYZ. Like the nefariousness of every situation is kind of like that's that's tiresome, bro. Not you in particular. I'm just saying, like every time we talk about the government or something that we don't really have a great grasp on, it must be nefarious.
oh, so you mean to tell me that some people, and we'll transition from that. I'll use this as an example. So the people who feel like, and we're just using Barack Obama as an example. No one says that we believe this and that. The people that say that he was a part of a secret society or the Illuminati, you feel like those people are lunatics, right?
I'm not saying look. I'm just saying that why I'm asking that why how come we always find something nefarious about our people? Like we look for we try and I'm not saying about Brown. I'm talking about every leader, every politician, we try to find like paparazzi is literally just looking for a moment where you do something wrong or look crazy. Like that's the whole like
I don't think everybody is like a part of something nefarious. I don't. I think sometimes as people, something that you don't understand, you automatically may make it nefarious. Sometimes if you are a part of secrecy, people might not understand the secrecy that you're a part of. And when you have some nefarious things that have come from said secret societies or secret organizations and things like that, that's when people get these assumptions of nefarious acts. So if you are someone who walks around with or quoting the teachings of someone like an Aleister Crowley, people are gonna say, well, maybe there's some nefarious situations going on with this guy. And then if it comes up more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, people will form an assumption.
makes sense. Makes sense. You said you're going to transfer that. Well, moving forward with that, I think that says a lot about witchcraft or what a mage does. Could you explain or could you talk to people about how people's connotations of what you do or what you are about is different from the real thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. Anytime witchcraft or magic is brought up, it's immediately tied to the Illuminati, which it is tied into that, but a lot of people don't understand the Illuminati, and I don't want to bring the wrong type of attention to y'all's channel by speaking like this, but fuck it. The people's idea of the Illuminati, they think it's like, what do they call that shit? One-stop shopping. They think all things related to magic are like Illuminati based, but people don't understand that within Hollywood and celebrities, there's a lot of different cultures. There's a lot of different secret societies. There's a lot of different hidden things. So people think the Illuminati is one big society, but that's not the thing. There's multiple societies. There's multiple different orders, magical orders that are hidden from the public. And Aleister Crowley, I like that you mentioned him. He pioneered the Lima, a magical system, and the OTO, the Ordo Templo Orientis. They were a magical order that dealt in sex magic. I don't know if y'all have heard of that. Some
I've
high
heard of
level.
it.
They called me
I've
into
heard,
sex before.
I've heard someone, and I don't know how true this is. Like I said, someone claimed that once you become a member of Hollywood, whether it be an actor or whatever, and you're in that society, you get an invite from the OTO. They made it seem like it's an invite that you can't refuse. I don't know.
Well, I don't know for a fact that it's an invite that everybody gets, but I know the one thing I do know is that I pay attention to a lot of the things that happen with our world leaders, politicians, entertainers, everybody that's basically on the world stage. And there's a lot of magic going on, but sometimes people don't notice that it's magic because there's a thing called lesser magic. And this is the magic of words, illusions, smoke and mirrors. These are spells that you cast with your words or certain commercials or certain media. It's not a fucking wand in your face, but if it's playing with your mind, it's magic. And that's how they kind of hide things from people, because people are expecting big, loud colors, smoke, and shit when it comes to magic. And sometimes magic could just be me telling you a lie. So I know the world leaders, they are involved to a degree in magic. And any group of people or families who have been on top of our world are these elite families who have been elite in terms of money, influence since the ancient times, or at least 100 years your family has been on top of the world. It's because y'all know something that other people don't necessarily know. And the things that were going on when Crowley was around, they call him the wickedest man to ever live, something like that. I've read a lot of I've read some of his books, and I know the stuff that he was doing. It's real. It's very real. And some famous people supposedly are a part of that order. But there's also a bunch of different, it's not the only order that's out there. But I think when I think of the word Illuminati, I think of the word supposedly means the enlightened ones. I think they were just a group of people. They are the people behind the people. So it's kind of like a pyramid. So you got like these people who have ancient families, they have secrets from the ancient world, and they hold these secrets. And they're the ones that are really in charge. And I guess you can call them Illuminati. Then they branch off. Mm-hmm. Then you got the Order of the Golden Dawn. You got OTO. Then you got this order, that order. And all these different orders they have secrets, but these people at the top, they have the real secrets. So they let the people and the branch systems think they know what's really going on. It's like Freemasonry. That's a more popular one that people talk about. A lot of people that are Freemasons, they start in Masonry and they think Masonry is one thing, but once you get to the higher levels of Masonry, you start to realize that they aren't telling the lower level people what's going on. And I think you take that concept and you blow it up into our world. And that's what's happening with everything. People working regular jobs, you're working at McDonald's, Jack in the Box, one level. People who are working at corporate jobs, you're executive manager or CEO, one level. Another level. People that's in entertainment, another level of the shit. People who are bankers, you're at a whole nother level. And at each level, they have these blankets that's covering their knowledge. So it's like, especially if you're an artist, like y'all said, if you're an artist that's in the game, you get in the game the first year, you might think this is what's going on. Then the next year, this is what's going on. You meet people, more people, they bring you to parties. And at this party, you got other musical artists, but also you got bankers, and then you got people that's in the corporate world, and then you got the politicians. So they all start coming together. And then at some point, You know, you even got the CEO of your record label. Because if you're in the record label, you're probably dealing with A&Rs or the person that's in charge of the day-to-day shit. All of a sudden, you meet the owner of the record label or the owner of a Hollywood studio. All of a sudden, he's touching your leg and he's like, "So, how far do you want to go?" So it's like,
Why you gotta be gay, man?
well, and that's a good question. I hate to take it there, but our world is gay.
Yeah.
Everything, don't you see? Everything in our world is going in the direction of gay. Like, you know, I'm not too old. I had to think of my age for a second. But I'm 28. You know, in the 90s, you had a certain level.
Yeah.
People. In the 2000s, you had a certain amount. 2010s, a certain amount. 2020, everybody's fucking gay. Why is that happening? It's because they are leaking homosexual stuff more into our media, into our songs, into movies, TV shows. It's because they have an agenda, and I hate to say it's nefarious because I don't want to sound fucking paranoid, but if you notice, it's just more gay people showing up, and it's like my beliefs are the people who run everything are gay, and what they want to do is to make all of us like them, you know. It's
You just said it's like you. So in my head, like I just saw like 6 gay guys at the table, and like they like, we gonna make everybody gay. Say what we gonna do is we gonna put this over here. We gonna make, and then sure, Barbara. It was like a white dude, a black dude, a Mexican dude.
yeah, but they're in suits.
Yeah.
And they're powerful and influential.
But what I'm saying is like, why do I want to do that? If I had this much influence to change, to influence the world to a sexuality, like that, I'm gonna do some more. It's way more important things I can do than to make everybody like me, man.
Yeah, but one thing about people who have money, and if especially you have a lot of money,
Yeah.
you want to keep your money. And if you're a person that holds your family or your legacy has millions, billions, trillions of dollars, you want to be able to keep that money, and you can't keep a large sum of money like that. That's generational wealth. You can't keep money like that if more people on the earth are advancing and getting money. So what do? You put things out there that stops them from growing. Because if we all were in a right mindset, then
So you're saying that make less people that if you make less people that are heterosexual, they'll make less babies.
not in terms of population. I mean, in terms of just the things that they put out. I just think the things that they put out aren't necessarily helping us to advance and make more money for ourselves, you know. And the homosexual agenda, if it exists, we're just gonna talk hypothetically. If it existed, it's just one of the things. It's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Thing is, you know, people who have money, they don't generally want to share that money. And if you're a banker, I don't know if y'all know about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers.
Yeah.
We all got more money than that's less money in their banks. If we advance ourselves, you know, that's a smaller piece of the pie that they get.
But how does the gay part affect that? I'm just asking. Like, what is being gay make you like? If I make him gay, they ain't going to. They gonna be like, you know, he's a gay guy. We ain't mess with him.
Nah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being gay. The problem is there's a difference between a kid that grows up and says, "Oh, well, shit, I think I like men. I want to be gay," versus a child that's watched suggestive cartoons and shows that has all this homosexual stuff put into it covertly, and then decides, "Fuck, I think I'm gay," or "I think I want to be a woman." You know, you have people who are naturally decide they want to be gay, and then people who they've been pushed in this situation. But that's how I see it, and that's a very strong conversation.
So what would you think? What? Okay, so if they weren't being pushed to that, and they were being pushed to be something else, because I'm just being, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. The conversation would be very, very equal if I said, well, ever since they've had media, they've pushed a certain narrative on little boys. Like they've always said, little boys have to do this, you gotta do that. This is where you gotta be. You gotta be. They push the fatherhood. This is how you gotta be a father. You have to take or this is how you have to provide for you. Like they push an agenda on men.
Yeah, but I think agendas change though. So no one agenda is going to stay the same forever. So I do think that different agendas throughout the years have been pushed, and it does seem like in the last X amount of years, I don't know how far you go back, that there has been an agenda pushed that demasculates men. Like there has been a gay agenda that's being pushed. Like that's the thing. You can't ignore that.
Yeah, if you take out any society, women, we think that us men think that we're smart, but women are smart like in a different way. Us men usually we're gonna handle the brute strength. If you're gonna take out a society, you take out the men first. You take out the protectors. As when you take out the men, there's no one to protect our women. So that's what the first part of their plan is to emasculate men. And, there's definitely, if you don't want to call it gay, we could call it metrosexual, because it's being more popular now for men to be, less masculine. That's
how it's always been. Man, do you know? I mean, I know you guys know. They used to wear wigs, bro. Like, they used to wear wigs. Like, that was the player thing to do for a dude, man. If you had a bunch of money, put a wig on, man. And I ain't talking about no little short, like a big Victorian wig, man. That was like how they got down. They used to wear tights, like they used to wear leggings and ruffles on the end of their pants, man.
How much do you know, Bug, about when they came across the pond to America? Because they wanted to come to a free land and establish a nation of free men and free thinkers. How much of their rituals do you think they came over here and brought and did?
I believe more than the free land, the reason why they came over here, from my humble studies, was because of the freedom of religion. Because the Queen made everybody have the same religion and pay that. And
so, what do you know about some of the rituals that they brought over here and did in a free land that they weren't necessarily free to do before they left?
I mean, they did all types of things, nefarious and non-nefarious. So
I didn't say nefarious. I'm not asking nefarious. I'm just saying, do you know of any of the rituals or some of the things that they did?
Some, yeah. I mean, the ones that we've highlighted. The Amish did their thing. I forgot the name of them. The ones that kill the kids. I forgot the name. They did their thing.
All right, bet. So, Mr. Dub the Mage, do you know what I'm speaking of more?
You mean when they were the rituals of when they were coming over from Britain?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. I don't know specifically what you're talking about. You mean the ritual? The rituals pertaining to what? Can you be more specific?
It was some of it was just the rituals pertaining to some of the secret societies that they ran, some of the things that they couldn't do or couldn't practice openly. That's why they came over. Some of it has to do with people who believe in the Illuminati and the enlightened ones. Some of the things that they did, that was, I don't know, not in line with the Christian thinking and things like that.
Oh, well, I mean, I know there's always been things pertaining to this subject that wasn't in line with the Christian thinking, but as far as them coming over here to have more freedom on that, I don't know about that. You're gonna have to educate me on that. That's real interesting.
I got a couple of books. I'll send a message to you about just some of the books I have. And some of it is some of it has to do with the Freemasonry and shit like that, and how they established DC and the mapping out of the city and all of that stuff, and the cornerstones that they use.
I know they have some of the sacred geometry within
Exactly.
the shit was put.
You're talking about like 1800s, bro, because they didn't build like 1770 when they came over here in 1650 something, or when the Mayflower and the Welsh colony came. They didn't have no infrastructure, bro. Everybody wasn't the same. It wasn't like all the Protestants came or it was some Protestants, some Irish, some this. Down in Georgia and Florida, the British emptied their prisons, and the British and the French emptied their prisons in the South. So you had all kinds of different people. So I agree with you 100% that they had some rituals that one set of people did, but it wasn't like that was everybody's on, like we all on the same accord. Like you got.
Well, I never said that though. I never said that, and I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to generalize my statement and say I'm saying X. I'm not speaking about the people who migrated over here and just wanted, like a different opportunity. Everybody is not nefarious. That's not what I'm saying. I was asking specifically about
what are you
some of
about?
I'm
saying that it's like you said. You're saying something that's not.
Time out. I thought we were speaking about like some of the mystic art, some of the ritual things of that nature. I'm not talking about people who came over here on the Mayflower just to help colonize new land, sir.
I'm saying, I'm asking you, just like he asked you, like specifically, because you're saying that's very general. Because we both agree with you that there were people who did that. Like there were people who did that, but like. What do you mean? Like, are you saying that you're asking him? Does he know any people did that? Or are you saying that you know people who did that?
I literally just start talking about some of the things that they established while doing it.
But you're talking about 100 years after they got here,
my nigga.
bro.
I didn't say a specific date and time. We're just talking about some of the things that they do, ritual wise, with some of the practices. Like I didn't know we were talking about a year or a century by century breakdown. I'm just talking about in general some of the practices.
Oh well, I thought we got there because let me backtrack. We got there because he was talking about y'all talking about the emasculation of men in today's world. And I was like, back in the day, they used to wear wigs, bro. The time that we're talking about, that's why we got there. That's like they used to wear wigs and lace on the end of their pants, bro. Like
there's pictures of them putting the cornerstones in. That's why I brought that up. Because those were the times, bro. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. You're tripping. You're tripping, bro.
I'm talking about a time. You're talking about a different time.
Well, did George Washington wear a wig?
Yes.
Was George Washington not one of the founding fathers who set cornerstones in some of these buildings?
No.
He didn't?
George Washington was a general, and when he was a general in the army, and then that's in 17.
Was he a Mason?
Probably so.
Do you think he participated in laying cornerstones down?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because to me, like, and I understand.
Do you
point.
think he participated in any kind of Masonic rituals? I'm just asking.
Well, I'm going to say I don't know, because I'm saying like, the way you read the Masons, I can understand it. But the way I read the Masons is like, I'm like, they just like some Qs or some Kappas. Like
it's 100. And I agree with you. It's 100%. Nothing is 100% one way. There are some people who join Masonry because they feel like the Masons are a cornerstone of the community, and it's like you said, it's like being an alpha, omega, or whatever. And then there are some people who join the Freemasonry for other reasons. And I think Freemasonry, depending on where you are and what you're a part of, it has more than one meaning.
I agree. I wish. And we won't know because we're not in the organization. But I wish there was a way you can say that we can know, like, oh, this guy, he's a Freemason, but he was like one of them Kappas he's a Kappa, he down, but he don't go to no functions. He just got in when it was hot, he got in it, and when he moved on in life, he excelled. But he's still that. He knows the literature. He don't tell the secrets. But we assume, not you, but people generally assume that because they're in that organization that has had nefarious people. Obviously, they're nefarious too. Like there are good cops, there are bad cops. Just because one cop shot somebody don't mean that everybody want to be a cop is a bad person.
also think depending on what side of the fence you sit on, the people that we think are nefarious aren't nefarious. They might just be nefarious to us.
You're right.
Doesn't mean they don't do nefarious things. It's just the nefarious things that they do is nefarious to us. So the slave owner who owned 100 slaves, he might have been nefarious to a person of color. But to the normal white person, he's just a upstanding business owner of the South.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, that's very true. And do you at some point at what we would like, because we're the people being, oppressed, we're like, can't you see this wrong? You know what I'm saying? But if you've never been taught that it's wrong, you have to come, everybody, whether they're white or black, is not come understand, just open their eyes like, hey, this is wrong, bro. I know this is all I know, but it's wrong. That's hard to do.
At some point, some of the things that were done to our ancestors, you don't have to, like, you can open your eyes and be like, this is some bullshit. We doing this to another human? Like, this is some bullshit.
We was literally told that ain't a real human. That's 3/5 of a man. That's not a real man. Look at that skin. That's not, if they was real men, they have skin like us.
That's bullshit. No, I'm not saying what you're saying is bullshit. I'm saying that's bullshit.
That's what they did. That's literally what they said. We're not even a full man, bro. So, I mean, I feel you, though. I feel you. But speaking of doing too much, an extra man, what's your favorite basketball team, Dub? The Mage. I gotta say the Mage because he's Dub, too.
I don't really watch basketball, so I would probably have to just say, if you're putting some pressure on me, I would say maybe last time I was watching basketball, the Rockets. I was riding home team.
Well, I asked, what about you, Dub?
Not from H-Town, nigga.
Okay. I asked that because I forgot how, I didn't watch some old school, I was watching Kobe Bryant something, right? And he was talking about the players he watched growing up or whatever. And I remembered, I was looking like, these dudes are playing with choker chains on, right? Like in the 80s. I'm like, how fly do you have to be to go to play a professional sporting game? And as you go, you have to get out of your regular clothes. Got to get a personally made jersey, whether it be a football jersey, or basketball jersey, right? You got millions of people out here. You getting paid millions of dollars, and you throw a chain on to go with this.
Did that really happen?
They used to wear chains in the game, yeah.
They used to.
I'm gonna have to look that.
How vain do you have to be, man?
Football players and baseball players still do.
Still do it. To this day, still do it. Maybe at least baseball got some respect. They be like, they'll put it away like this is my inspiration. Some guys who would wear like a Cuban link. Well,
you mean the shit jumping while they running? That's what you telling me?
Man, the dude who beat us with the coldest home run, I forgot, Puig. That's name Puig, or Atlanta.
Yeah, he had a big Cuban on.
Man, that boy hit the home run. Boom, and start beating his chest. I told you, and that link was boom. I was like, dang, man.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
He beat you with jury on, man.
I mean, Deion used to do this shit all the time.
Seen what Andre Johnson did to old boy, snatched his chain off, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this shouldn't even be they've had fights in the NFL because people grab your chain and yank it off.
You get money like that, though, you know. I mean, your boy Odell wore like $60,000 watch, some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying like how we're playing.
Actually, I don't think it was 60. I think it was like 300 bands.
There's no regulations against that shit.
Well, it is with the watch. You can't wear the watch, but you can wear a chain on these shoulder pads.
In the NBA, you can't wear. Yeah, they came to their senses, man, and they stopped doing that.
But in the NBA too, though, I think it's a little more dangerous because it's just out. You open, my nigga. At least NFL, baseball, like the chain is underneath your shoulder pads. Now, what the new generation NFL player that I don't know. Well, I don't know where these like choker chains have come from again.
Yeah,
but like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a fan of the choker chain, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Huh?
I'm a fan of the choker chain. Bro.
Nah, a grown ass man should not be having a choker chain on. That's some real feminine shit. but we're not gonna get back on that bandwagon.
Not tight choker.
Nah,
like,
this nigga Deshaun Watson,
A loose one.
these niggas
Like that,
chains be
like-
so, bro. If I can see your full chain underneath your shoulder pads, it's too short. It's a choker. Deshaun Watson walking around here with full diamond choker on, man. I'm not doing this shit. And now the rappers had the nerve to get the biggest Cuban link they could find. It'd be a choker chain with a big ass medallion. You look stupid, my nigga, but you know, whatever. I ain't got that much money.
If you ever go to Jordan, like his dunk pages or whatever, or
His chain be floating in there while he dunking.
his chain, man, he be dunking with a chain on. That's a flex right there. Like I'm just going. I just came from the pool hall or something.
Mr. Mage, question: Do you believe in or subscribe to MK Ultra and cloning?
Yeah. I mean, the cloning thing, yeah, I believe in cloning, but let's not talk about that. But because I don't want to talk about shit that we can't see, shit that I can't reach out and touch. It's non-tangible to me. But MK Ultra, yeah, this is right in your face. But the problem with MK Ultra is you got to be able to see it, because that shit is a big hidden in plain sight type thing, you know. MK Ultra, I don't know if y'all know about Operation Paperclip. You know, the thing is, the popular perception is I'm gonna get real deep right now. So bear with.
Now see, Bug don't believe in all this shit. He think it's really just niggas and they bullshit ass conspiracies doing way too much. But go ahead, because I've heard some of these things that you're speaking of.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's just information. You know, you can just listen. You don't have to believe it. But the popular perception is that the Nazis lost World War II. Problem is, you have when they had the Nuremberg trials, only about maybe 10 to 20 Nazis were indicted and executed or whatever. When World War II is over, they had Operation Paperclip, and you can look that up. It's like it's out there. I think it's on the CIA website also. It's on the CIA website. You had over 2,000 Nazi scientists were brought into the United States.
Yep.
And, you know, Germany, they were doing a lot of tests and mind control tests. They were doing tests on children, all types of stuff in Germany. They brought the United States were like, okay, yeah, we beat, you know, basically we're winning war-wise, but Germany has made a lot of advances within their bullshit. So these German scientists, they brought them to the United States and they inserted them into our infrastructure. And NASA was established with those scientists because they were ahead of the U.S. in terms of the aerospace industry or whatever. But Werner von Braun, who was one of the leaders in NASA, he was German. He was a Nazi. So they brought a lot of these German Nazi scientists into the United States, and they used the advances that they were making in Germany to advance the United States.
Yeah, so NASA ain't shit but a Nazi rocket program.
Yeah, basically. So if you really look at it, America is the Fourth Reich. America is continuing Hitler's work, you know, and a lot of people believe that he didn't actually die, that it was just a double, but I'm not about to get into that shit. It don't matter if he died or not, but a lot of the Nazi influence that people believe ended in 1945 when they lost the war. No, that shit was brought right into America. And the Nazis were doing things pertaining to mind control and learning how to get into people's subconscious mind, how to make them do this and that, there was a lot of magic going on in Germany. Hitler was obsessed with the occult. So they were doing a bunch of tests, and the United States continued those tests, finding looking for little drugs that can make people think faster. They develop LSD to see what it does to the human body, the human mind, and a bunch of those little things they were doing because, I mean, I think powerful men are always trying to figure out how to get ahead, how to make more money, how to influence people, to the largest degree. And I just think there's a lot of German influence in our world today, basically after 1945, because the Germans, Hitler was a bitch. Hitler, had a bunch of people killed, but people don't want to hear you saying Hitler was genius. The Nazis were genius. Some of the best cars that you find out there, right, are what? German cars, BMW, Mercedes, if I'm correct. The Germans were assholes, but they were on top of their game when it came to like technology and things of that sort.
Didn't Hitler didn't he go after like a lot of different artifacts, like religious artifacts? Like
I believe so.
It was said that, I forgot the technical name for it, but the spear that pierced Jesus on the cross, apparently he was in possession of that, and then America became in possession once they got it. It was just certain artifacts that he was going and grabbing, and they say America has a lot of it as well.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't disbelieve it. It probably haven't. All I can say is that motherfuckers make you think that Hitler looked like this, but Hitler wasn't just killing people. Hitler was doing some big time shit behind the scenes. That's why they had to get him out of there, because he was making moves in the background, shit bigger than the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So Hitler ain't just the Holocaust. He bigger than the Holocaust. Hitler is a fucking genius. That's why they had to take him out. He was doing things in the background that would like solidify his power and his country power. Because the Nazis were in World War. Well, they didn't. It wasn't the Nazis in World War One. Germany. I don't know all the mechanics behind World War One, but the Germans lost World War One, and Germany was fucked up, and they had to pay all the other countries for the bullshit that happened in World War One. So Germany they were shit after that war. So they were at a very low state. And when Hitler brought them up, he was looking for a plan to make them, but they never fall down again. He wasn't just trying to make them powerful. He was really looking to bring Germany up. There's a lot of shit when it comes to Germany. Germany is a very important power in our world, and they don't really explain it in the way that they should. Hitler was doing a lot of shit like pertaining to secret societies and pertaining to aliens, if you believe in that shit. There's people believe that the Nazis were creating that they got into. Hitler had a magic order called the Vril Society, where a woman, Maria Orsic, was getting telepathic messages from aliens in Antarctica. Sounds fucking crazy, I'm just putting out information, but these aliens were giving her schematics and information on how to build anti-gravity aircraft, So
that's like the little bell-shaped situation that one scientist was working on, right?
What scientist?
I forgot his name, bro. He's like a German scientist, and he had like a whole platoon, and I'm probably saying the terms wrong, like a whole platoon or whatever. And it was said that they could travel through time. And so once they lost the war, it was a whole like group or platoon or whatever you call it. There was this dude and his craft that they couldn't recover, and they've never seen again. I'm probably saying it all the way wrong, but
you're not talking about Tesla, are you?
No, I'm not talking about Tesla.
Okay.
I think the American government killed Tesla, but that's another conversation.
Well, I don't know about that situation, but I do know they were one of the biggest reasons why the Nazis lost the war is because Hitler's force was spread out. He had half of his or a percentage of his people working on engineering these spacecraft that these aliens were teaching them how to build. Or you don't have to call them aliens because I don't like to use that word. It's real sci-fi. I guess beings that were on this planet before us and that were in different places on the earth. He had half of his force building certain shit and focus on advancing technology, and the other half was in the war. So it's like that's a big reason why they didn't really win the war, publicly. But Hitler was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that they don't really tell people about. And I do think that when we see UFOs, if you believe in that shit, we're not seeing shit from other planets. People don't understand. You could be seeing something that's from a being that's been here before you.
Yeah, I mean, because UFO just means unidentified flying object.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, with all of these, like, with a lot of these information dumps that the government has had to do, like weird shit came out. Like it was something that came out, and I'm probably saying it wrong. It's like against the law to, I don't want to say talk to, have interactions with an alien. And then it had like the description of not an alien, an extraterrestrial. And it was a description, like it was a description of what an extraterrestrial is. And they also had descriptive information about UFOs, which is an unidentified flying object, but they also had descriptions of stuff like the difference between a UFO and the difference between an aircraft or a vessel that was built off world. I feel like the government wouldn't have those specific terms and titles in official documents if there isn't some things that are going on that they want us in the dark about. Have you ever heard about Project Bluebeam?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of it. I believe it's something about them creating. It's either them creating some sort of holographic thing that's supposed to deceive us, or
It was some wild shit. Bless you.
Man.
It was some wild shit. And so I've read like one of my boys turned me onto it, and then I thought it was some bullshit. And when you look it up, like let's say if you go to YouTube first, you'll find like one situation about it, and it's a legit just like almost like a class about NASA and Project Bluebeam. And then when you start digging deeper and reading shit, you'll find like 3 or 4 different situations. But yes, one of them was the plan was to deceive the people with the hologram, say that Christ has come back or some bullshit. But the crazy part is, they were supposed to be able to talk to people like telepathically. Like that's crazy to me.
well, I know. Well, personally, when it comes to conspiracy theories, I don't really like to fuck with conspiracy theories because you got a lot of people putting out information.
Correct.
And then the others, anybody can put out information. There's also controlled opposition, if you believe in that. So I don't really like to subscribe to conspiracy theories unless if I see something with my own 2 eyes that kind of pertains to a conspiracy theory, then I'm like, fuck, well, that shit could be real. So I keep my mind open to anything that I read. Cause I know with this whole magic thing, I can do certain stuff that people would think, oh, that shit's impossible. So that's taught me to always keep my mind open just because I'm reading something and it doesn't seem doesn't seem legit, it doesn't mean that, it's not real. Because, we all live in our own worlds. Of course, if you've never experienced something, you're going to be like, all right, that's bullshit. I'm just like, hey, if I always keep myself open, hey, like, if as long as I stay open, I'm constantly growing, teach me something if you could teach me something. Because when you start thinking you know everything, you cut yourself off from growing and gaining more information. Shit, maybe the shit that you thought was fake was really real. Because like I said, I can push energy into people, and some people would think that shit's not real, but I could show them in a second, hey, this shit's real. But when it comes to that whole thing, I just think that a lot of people, when it comes to magic and meditation, once you're able to calm yourself down, get into a meditative state, you got different brain waves. Your regular brain waves, or I think beta brain waves. When you get into like a light trance, say when you're watching TV, you're in a light trance because you stop doing things because you're receiving information from the TV. That's why they call it regularly scheduled programming. You're receiving information. You're linked telepathically with the TV. That's an alpha brainwave state. Then you have the theta brainwave state, which is the state right before you go to sleep. That's where, if anybody's ever woken up with sleep paralysis, your brain is doing a very small amount of work. Brain waves are very low. That's the theta mind state. And then you have the delta mind state, where those are the sleep brain waves, which is a very small amount of brain waves because you're sleeping, of course. But as you lower your brain waves and go into trance, you can hear voices. You can speak telepathically with other people, or a lot of people who talk about channeling messages from the spiritual world. They actually encounter aliens or beings that claim they're aliens. So telepathy is a very real thing, and it exists. It exists in our real world. Sometimes, say if you and a certain person are talking about a subject or something that happens in the real world, and then y'all go to the store together and it happens, and y'all look at each other because that thing just happened. Y'all just sent each other information like, hey, bro, this shit just happened. That's telepathy. It's real subtle, but that's a small form of it. Humans are always exchanging information telepathically, but there's higher levels where you could actually hear words coming from another person's mind. And I know the government has supposedly, allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, has been, working on shit like that. Because I know the government is always, supposedly the government is always working on these things because they want to create, super soldiers, They want to create ways to know what another country is doing. They're always looking to create spies, Supposedly they created LSD so that they could find better ways to, get information about other countries, find out what Russia is doing, find out what Korea is doing. So, the government's always in a race to stay ahead. Sometimes it's nefarious, but I think telepathy is it's a real thing. And my problem is I try to stay away from conspiracy theories, but shit that I encounter in magic, like, it'll bring up a conspiracy theory back to my head. And I'm like, fuck, I read some shit about that and I thought that shit was stupid. Mm-hmm. And now I just experienced that shit. So I think you got to stay open, because it's like, we always think that we understand the world around us. We always think that we know what's going on. How many people have you talked to, somebody that's intimate to you, and you realize that they fucked me over? I lived a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, thinking this person was this thing and this person is this thing.
Yeah.
That just goes to show, just because you think that the world is one way, and the shit's always changing. People are always changing. Everything is always shifting. The only thing that's constant in this world is change. Well, not the only thing, but it's one thing that's always there.
That's what's up, man. This has been very interesting. Young James Boogie, man, you got more questions, bro?
One question. You ever watched the show? I'm talking to the Mage. You ever seen that television show, Judge Joe Brown?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, don't that dude got the same etch up as Judge Joe Brown in the first season? Don't his that's the Judge Joe Brown edge up, man. He's trying to deny it, man, because Judge Joe Brown.
What dude?
that dude over there, Aaron W. Dude over there. The dude's not laughing right now. The dude got a serious face right now. He's like, man, look what you gonna do. You talking about Judge Joe Brown?
You tried that joke last pod, bro.
It worked. It worked last time.
It did not work at all. Like it didn't work at all.
You tried.
If you pull up a picture of Judge Joe Brown now, and y'all niggas had the same hairline.
No, that man's 70 years old, man. And
I know that's the sad part, nigga. You got a 70-year-old man hairline.
No. I follically removed my hairline.
All right, let's do this. Don't get a haircut for a month, and then we'll see whose hairline is where.
I'm gonna do that.
All right.
I'm gonna do that. I was just telling my daughter today. I was like, man, I'm gonna grow hair and show you boys.
I won't get a haircut outside of an edge up and a taper. I'll let everything grow out. You do the same, and then we'll see whose hair looks like what's within a month.
Okay. I know how. We'll see.
Okay.
This has been another great episode of 16 Shots featuring Dub the Mage. Can I get some hand claps? Also, what's the name of the show, man?
Now let's begin the story.
That time, motherfuckers. Dub down, motherfuckers.
H-Town's finest 16 Shots podcast.
Stop lightning with the blam blam.
That's professionalism right there.
It is. I didn't get to ask you, Dub the Mage, about the English language and the spell casting that's hidden within the language.
Oh yeah, it's basically right there in the words. They call them spelling words. It's called language, which comes from the words languish. For example, I don't know if I said this last time, like the days of the week. The days of the week.
Oh yeah. I've heard this before. I don't understand it, but I've heard this before.
The days of the week are related to the gods or the planets.
Yeah.
Like with Monday, Moon Day, Tuesday, Wednesday is the god Odin. Thursday is Thor's day. Friday is for Freya or Venus, the goddess of love. Saturday for Saturn, and Sunday for the sun. It's a bunch of different things. I mean, when you look at that stuff, you gotta understand the people that have established everything that we know. They were magicians. I know magic when I see it, and it's like it's embedded everywhere. And you wake up in the morning, and they call it the morning because you're mourning, like when somebody dies. You have the weekdays where it's actually the word week, like the weekdays, like when you don't have a lot of energy in your body. And your weekend, by the weekend, it's a lot of different shit that's going on. The English language, especially, it's a language of spells. It makes us talk in circles. There's no reason that you should have all these words that are the same but have different meanings. Like C. You have the letter C, but you can also see, and you can walk down and look at the sea the water. You feel me? You got all these different things that's in the English language that kind of makes us talk in circles, you know? I think the English language was created for that purpose, you know, as it's a language of spells, you know, and the nature of magic is, you know, the Bible says God created the world. In Genesis, it says God created the world with the word. And, you know, the difference between word and world is just an L. Anytime you speak, you're releasing. Our world is a world of vibrations, you know. You got shit like this glass it has the illusion of being solid, but it's not really solid, you know. If you look at this glass or any other item under a microscope, it shows you molecules and shit, and they're spaced apart. They're spaced apart because there's space between them, you know. So everything that looks solid is because it's vibrating at a slower level. And then you got things like liquid vibrates at a faster level, it flows. And then things that are non-physical like gas, it's invisible because it's vibrating extremely fast. Everything is vibrating at a different level. So your words are also vibration. Sound is vibration. You know, sound can be deadly, you know. You can play your music, you know, niggas get systems in their trunks and shit, and you can play music. Music can make you feel good. But if you play that shit too loud, it can bust the windows. You feel me? Literally.
Yeah.
So that shows you the power of frequency. So your words, everything you say is literally changing. You know, they talk about speaking shit into existence. Your words are changing the fabric of reality around you, you know? And that's why I think some things people just really shouldn't say, because people like me who do magic or witchcraft, people think that we're the only ones doing witchcraft. No, witchcraft, you don't have a choice. You're a human. Anytime you speak, you're changing the fabric of the world around you. So you don't get to say, oh, I'm not going to do magic because I don't sit down and do this magical stuff or call on spirits. Everybody's doing magic. Anytime you speak, you're doing magic. Anytime you think, you're sending. Humans are like antennas. Anytime you think, you're sending waves out into the world, you know, you're sending impulses out, you know. If you think about something too much, and that energy, it begins to culminate, and it solidifies, and bam, the thing happens, you know. So words are a real powerful thing, and it's fucked up because they teach us sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But that's bullshit, because words are the most powerful thing, you know. But say you have a gun. If you have a gun seems powerful. You can shoot a person, bam, they dead. But you could tell a person some words that would make them feel like shit for the rest of their lives.
Kill them 1,000 times with words.
Yep. Words could fuck you up for life. A gun, a knife, a sword, that shit could fuck you up in the moment. You know, it might seem like pain, but you know, somebody telling you something that breaks your heart can make you hurt permanently. Feel me?
Yep, I agree. Man, this has been another great episode. Like Bug said, man, we're glad you had you on, man. We're gonna have you on again too, man. Let's get some more claps for Dub the Mage, man. All right, well, shit, we out, man. Stay up and hit us, whatever, man. And I'm a link with you too, bro.
All right, before y'all go, if anybody's interested in readings or any magical workings from me, you can just reach me at dovethemage@yahoo.com. Just like it's showing up on here, I believe y'all can see the name.
Yep.
But it's been a real good experience having this conversation with y'all. These conversations need to be had because I think we're at a very dire period for humanity. More people need to be talking about this shit.
Yeah, man. Next time we talk to you, I got a couple of things I want to ask you specifically. I know if I ask you now, it's gonna be another hour. So you know what I'm saying.
For
I'll
sure.
say that one to the next episode, man.
All right. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right.